Hey everyone, Darin Kidd. Hope you're having a great day. Listen, I am going to talk to you on this training about how to set and achieve your goals in 2021. And what I'm going to share with you is actually going to help you be 10 times more successful. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you let me know in the comments where you're watching from as you join, what city, what state, what province in Canada, what country. And today's a little bit different. I've got this broadcasting on my Facebook page. I've got this broadcasting on my YouTube channel, on Periscope, and I've got TikTok going with another phone as well. So we got people that will be tuning in from all over the world. Welcome, Wendy. Thanks for joining. And as we're going through the training, do me a favor. If you have an aha moment, make sure to share that in the comments. If you like the content, you're excited about where we are, make sure to smash that heart button and show me that you're there. Hey, Jeannie. Hey, Tina from Arizona. And I'm excited. I spent a lot of time today preparing this training. What I did, I've been studying goal setting and for many years, at least 15, 20 plus years. In the next 15 to 20 minutes, I'm going to teach you some of the things that took me over 15 years. So let me know. Hey, Lisa, thanks for joining. So let me know if you're excited about 2021. You know what? 2020 is behind us. It's important that we don't look back unless we want to go that way. And we're focused on 2021. And no matter where you are, no matter what things look like last year, this is going to be a different year. I can feel the energy. People are excited. They have a new mindset. And so we're definitely looking forward to giving you some good information. Now on the screen, you will see darinkid.com/3keys. That is a free resource that is available to you. There's no charge. Make sure you go download that resource. If you like what you see, feel free to share it with any of your teammates or anyone that you know that's really looking to take their business to the next level in 2021. Now, for those that don't know my story, they hear all of the things that I was blessed to be able to achieve, being in the magazines and the books and making multiple seven figures and doing all those things. But what they don't know until they hear my story is that I failed for about 7 years. And I struggled, and I got to the point where I was bankrupt, on government assistance, had my car repossessed, on Medicaid, which here in the US, that's government assistance, couldn't feed my family, didn't make it through college, living in a small town, depressed. So how did I go from that to doing all the things that I've done? I'm going to share some of those things with you today on this training. So I hope you have pen and paper handy. I know I've got my notes ready to make sure that it keeps me on track, because what I'm trying to do is keep this as short and sweet as I possibly can. However, I don't want to speed through it and miss information that can make a big impact in your business. And the great thing, not just your business, but your life. Because when we set goals, and it shouldn't just be in one area, and I'm going to talk about that. And as we go into 2021, let me just mention this. The same thinking that got us to where we are is not the same thinking that's going to get us to the next level, right? Who agrees with that? Let me see. Smash the heart button if you agree with that. The same behaviors that got us to where we are not going to get us to the next level. So to get something different, we must think differently and act differently. And the great news is that we can control all of that. And so let's talk about, I want to read to you a quote by C.S. Lewis that I thought was really good. He said, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. Okay, let me repeat that again. Okay, you can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending. That was with C.S. Lewis. So let's talk about why to set goals. How many of you would like to be 10 times more successful in 2021? Okay, how many of you would like to be 10 times more successful? And I see we've got people watching from all over Columbus, Georgia. I see we've got people from, Switzerland, all over the world watching. So I appreciate that. And feel free to tag anyone that you know that may need this information if they're motivated and inspired to go out there and have a better year. So why do you set goals? Well, Harvard did a business study, and they came to the conclusion that 14% of the people who do have goals are 10 times more successful than those without goals. So if you want to be 10 times more successful, it's pretty simple. You set goals, and you don't have to be perfect at setting goals. I have been working on improving my goal setting, skills for many, many years. And every year I get a little bit better. Every month I get a little bit better. and I learned things that I didn't know before and how to implement things just a little bit differently. So yeah, you're going to make some mistakes, but just by attempting and setting your goals, you're so much farther ahead than anyone else. And so congratulations to you. If we fail to plan, we plan to fail. Do you realize that most people spend more time planning their vacations than they do their life? So really important to take time to think about what you want, why you want it, and I'm going to give you some specific steps, exactly what to do to go out there and set your goals to make 2021 your best year ever. So if we fail to plan, we plan to fail. If you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there. Now let's talk about what areas so you set goals. It's important. I remember the late billionaire Paul J. Meyer talking to me about how a lot of people, they sacrifice their health to gain wealth the first part of their life. And then the second part of their life, they spend their wealth trying to get back their health. So if you look at it as a wheel, right? So the wheel, if you have a flat spot in your wheel, it's not a very smooth life. So if we work all the time, but we sacrifice our health, that's a flat spot in our wheel. Or maybe we work all the time and we lose our family. That's not good. So it's important to look at it from the entire perspective. And here's some areas that you want to write down to take note, to set some goals. Number one is family and home. Very important. For me, it's faith, family, then finance. So you've got family and home. Then you've got financial and business, or your career. That's the next area. You've got mental and educational is the next area you want to think about setting some goals, right? Because working on you are your best investment. What are you going to do this year? When it comes to a business perspective, we don't make what we want, we make what we are. And if we want to make more, we want to become more. And here I was bankrupt, car repossessed, couldn't feed my kids, couldn't support my wife, living in a small town, depressed, right? I mean, didn't have money to even feed my family. But yet when I heard someone say, hey, Darin, can you get a little bit better today than you were yesterday? And I'm like, you know what? I can do that. I can get a little bit better today than I was yesterday. Well, can you read 10 pages out of a good book? Yeah, I can do that. That's about a book a month. So in 10 years, you've read 100 books. Most people hadn't read 10, right? So what is your mental and educational setting goals? What's your plan for that? Physical and health. And again, it's about progress, not perfection. So maybe you're starting out the year, you want to get in better shape. We're going to talk about being very specific. Maybe it's drinking more water, avoiding sugar, working out 10 or 15 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week. It's about doing those little things that can make a difference compounded over time. You have social and cultural, and then you have spiritual and ethical. So those are the areas I would recommend that you take some time, really think about goal setting in those areas. So let's repeat it real quick. Family and home, financial and business, mental or educational, physical, your health, social and cultural, and spiritual and ethical. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different areas if you drew a wheel and separated that into those 6 different areas. Writing your goals down. So another part of that Harvard business study said that you are 42% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down. Now, you can Google the science behind why is that? Like, why is it more important to write down your goals? I'm not going to go into all of the science behind it. And if you're like me, I don't really need to know the science behind it as long as I trust the source. But if you study the majority of the successful people that I've ever studied, I don't know if there's one that didn't encourage me to write down my goals. Because when you write down a goal, it forces you to have clarity. Okay, clarity gives you focus, and focus gives you energy. So the clearer the picture of your future, the more goal-directed your actions are on a daily basis. So when you write them down, it makes you clarify that thought. And then there's all the science when it comes to the mind and the brain and the hand connection. So really all we need to know is if you write it down, you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals than if you don't write them down. And then if you look at the Harvard business study, and you can Google this, but it says 83% of the population does not have goals. So if we want to separate ourselves from the masses in 2021, because if we want to get something different, we have to do something different. If we want something different than the masses, really, we just do something different than the masses. So we know that most people they don't have any goals. They're like a ship without a rudder. Like the waves just knock it back and forth. It has no control on which direction that it's headed, but that's not us. 14% have a plan in mind, but are unwritten goals. 3% have goals written down. Right? And the study went on to find that 14% who have goals are 10 times more likely to be successful than those without. We talked about that. But here's the kicker with the writing it down. The 3% with written goals are 3 times more successful than the 14% that have unwritten goals. So we know that number one, we should have goals. Number two, we should write them down. Now let's talk about SMART goals. All right, let's see. How many of you have heard of SMART goals? Hey, Brian, great to have you on this, the live. Hey, Tina, welcome. Hey, Heather. Hey, Jen. All right, you're the 14%, Jen. That's all right. We're gonna get you to 3% today, right? So let's talk about SMART goals. When you write your goals, SMART, the S is for specific. The more specific you are when achieving your goals, the better off you're going to be. It's not like, hey, I want to make more money in 2021. Well, if you make $1, that's maybe more money, right? You've achieved that goal. Okay, I want to lose weight. No, I don't want to lose weight. You want to gain health by getting rid of how many pounds. So you want to be very specific. And the quality of your life is determined by the quality of questions that you ask yourself. So here's some questions that you want to ask yourself. Like, what do you want to accomplish? Why is this goal important? Who is involved in the goal? And what steps will it take to achieve it? Very specific. Let me use an object because it's easy to use an object. If you wanted to, buy a new car, it's not like, hey, I'd like to have a new car. That's not specific enough. What model car? So maybe you go, hey, look, I want a Lexus. What color Lexus? I want atomic silver. Okay, what color interior? I want black interior. What type of package? I want the executive package. Okay, what model Lexus? I want the LS 500, right? It has the reclining back seats, massaging front seats. What color, what type wheels? I want the chrome wheels. Very specific. Clarity gives you focus. Focus gives you energy. I'm helping you get crystal clear when it comes to your goal by being very specific when writing the goals. And again, the clearer the picture of your future, the more goal-directed your actions are on a daily basis. Be very specific. The M in SMART stands for measurable. Performance measured is performance improved. It should be easy to track progress when you're running for your goal, right? You have to inspect what you expect. You can't manage what you don't measure. There's lots of different ways to say it, but you want to make sure that it's measurable. That way you know if you're on the right track, if you're making progress. So how much? How many? How will I know if it's accomplished? And then how can you measure your progress and know if you successfully achieved your goals when you're okay? So you want them to be measurable. The next thing is attainable. Let me give you a tip that I learned from the late billionaire, right? There was a master at goal setting. Here's what he told me. And you're probably going to think the same thing that I thought when I first heard this. He said, I've never set a goal that I did not achieve. And I remember going, man, that's not even doable. Like, that's not even possible. How can you never set a goal? Like, achieve every goal that you ever put down? He said, it's because I never set a goal that I knew I couldn't achieve. And then my next thought was, then why would you write down a goal? It's not really challenging you if you know you're going to achieve it. But then he explained it in more detail. He said, look, you don't learn to win. Let me know if any of you are having any aha moments during me going over these tips. Let me know if you're hearing something that maybe you needed to hear where you are right now. He said, you don't learn to win by losing. You learn to win by winning. You don't learn to win by losing. You learn to win by winning. I always heard, hey, look, shoot for the moon. And even if you miss, you'll land in the stars. That's not how you build your confidence. That's not how you raise your identity. You take your life to the next level. So let me give you an example. What he recommended was you set a minimum, a realistic, and a dream goal. So let's say I want to go out and I want to get 2 customers or 2 new reps in my business this month. And let's say that I'm not really that good. So I go talk to 10 people and I only get 1 out of 10. So if my minimum goal is 2, the minimum goal, you do not set that goal unless you're going to hit it or you don't go to sleep that month. Okay. So you put down something that you know is attainable, achievable. Then you can have a realistic goal. Let's say that's 4 new customers or 4 new reps. And then you have a dream goal, which maybe is, let's say, 6. So if I know that the minimum is 2, the realistic is 4, the dream is 6, then what you do is you base your activities off of the dream goal. So if I know that I get 1 out of 10 people that I talk to as a new customer or new rep in my business, then I need to set a goal to share the information with 60 people over the next 3 weeks. Well, that's 20 people a week. So if I'm doing it 5 days a week, that's 4 a day, 5 days a week, the next 3 weeks. And if I do that, there's no way I'm not hitting my minimum goal. Most likely, I'm going to hit my realistic goal or the dream goal, because what's going to happen is you share and expose more people to information. You're going to get a little bit better. You're going to get a little bit better. So next thing you know, you're getting 2 out of 10 and then 3 out of 10. Then you're going to learn to follow up better. So you're going to come back and you're going to get, maybe you talk to 10 people at first, only 1 got started, but then you've gotten better and your posture is different and you've got more stories and you go back and share with some of those initial people that didn't get started. So you set a minimum, realistic, and dream goal, but base your activities off of the dream goal. So you want to make sure that it is attainable, achievable. And then from those little wins, you may have heard me talk about before, your identity, right? Your self-imposed limitations. It's that glass ceiling that we have in our own mind. The sky's not the limit. Our mindset is the limit. And the way that you break that glass ceiling, the way that you go to the next level is you set goals and you achieve them every month. And what you're doing is you're raising your waterline. And when you stretch, you never go back to the person that you were before when you start to achieve those goals. Now let's go to R, relevant. Relevant. So is this goal relevant to my overall, the big picture of where I am right now? That's pretty, easy to explain. What am I setting this goal? Why am I setting this goal now? And does it go with my overall objectives? That's R. T, time bound or time based. You have to have a deadline for achievement. Why do we get more done 24 to 48 hours before we go on vacation when we knew that we were going on vacation 6 months or a year before? It's because we have a deadline. Why, when you're building your business, right? You're building your business in the end of the month when you're going for a rank advancement or a promotion or an incentive trip or whatever it may be, that 80% comes in the last 20% of the time. So it's very important to have a time-based goal. When? Okay, then you can even break it down. You can take and reverse engineer it. Okay, what can you do the next 6 months or the next month or the next week? What do you do daily to get to that place? All right, so that's SMART: specific, measurable, attainable or achievable, relevant, time-based, and now I'm going to give you some bonuses. All right, anybody learn anything new, right, going over that? Let me know. Smash the heart button if you learned something new from those tips. Now I'm going to give you some really important bonuses that have helped me blow the lid off of some of the things in my life. Right? Here's what they are. Have some rewards and celebrations along the way. So let's say that you're setting goals for 2021. Okay, then you back it up and you set a goal. Look, I'm going to go on a 90-day run to really go out there and take my business to the next level. What you want to do is set up some little milestones along the way to reward yourself. Now, it could be a date night with your spouse. Say, look, we have a favorite restaurant, but we really have a hard time justifying spending that kind of money because we have kids and we have bills and all of that. But when we go out and we do what we're going to do this month, at the end, we're going to celebrate and we're going to do that. My wife and I, we like to go about an hour and a half away from where we live in a different city. We like to get a certain hotel where we can walk to everything that's around. They've got all these little cool restaurants and they've got live music. And so we'll do date nights. And so when I'm working really hard during the week, right? Or during the month, and I'm doing all these things, I'm like, you know what? It's going to be worth it, because when I get that break over that weekend, right, it's going to be worth it. So set up some little reward goals and celebrate your wins. Remember, it's about progress, not perfection. And embrace the challenges as you're going through working to achieve those goals. Don't look at obstacles as negative. Don't look at challenges as negative. Obstacles lead to elevation. Challenges and failures are your friend. They didn't teach us that in school, right? Because they can make us bitter or better. But when you look at failures as, hey, look, I don't fail, I either win or I learn, right? Then you celebrate those and you enjoy the process. That's called the process. The next little bonus, create habits and rituals. You can't say, hey, look, I want to get rid of this bad habit. You just don't get rid of it. You have to displace it with another habit. So here's some questions to ask yourself when you get off of this training. Hey, look, what are some of the habits that I want to get rid of? And what new habits do I want to replace, put in the place of those bad habits? See, at first we create our habits and our rituals, then they create us. What I did going through 2020, right? All of us had challenging times. I mean, I was new into the coaching, speaking, training world, like all of the things that my first big speaking month was April, and that's when the world got shut down, right? And so we all had these challenges, and there was so much negativity. So I'm like, you know what I've got to do is I've got to create some rituals and habits that are going to serve me and keep me on track. So I got to the point every morning I would get up with gratitude. I would meditate, I would pray, I would go through a devotion app, I would listen to something positive on YouTube, and then have a podcast going in the background. Instead of listening to Bad Morning America or CNN constant negative news or any of those things, engaging in negative conversations on social media, what I did was I started my day filling my mind with all positivity, focusing on gratitude, because when you have gratitude, you can't really have fear. Right? Focusing on what I wanted, not what I didn't want, or was afraid of what was going to happen, living in faith, not fear. And what it did, it kicked off my day. But then I learned right at night before you go to bed, it's important to do something very similar, because then you marinate on that the next 8 hours while you sleep. So if I created rituals and habits that kicked off my day the right way, that ended my day the right way, I could handle what happened in the middle of the day so much better. So what are the habits and rituals that you can create to serve you in 2021 to achieve your goals and get to where you want to be sooner than later? Reminders of your goals. Spend some time thinking about why you're building the business, right? So in 2020, with all the challenges that were going on, what I did was I went through and I did dream collages, put them on my screensaver on my phone, put them on my computer, on my iPad, had YouTube videos that I would look at. And it could be something simple like, I love Disney World. Our family loves Disney World, especially at Christmas. So maybe it was watching the Christmas party at the Magic Kingdom at Disney World, having a goal, we're going to go to Disney World as soon as things open back up. Okay, but keep those dreams and goals and the reasons that you're working so hard in front of you, because that's going to help you stay strong enough, long enough when you're going through the emotional roller coaster and you're fighting the fight, the good fight, right? And you're going for those things when it seems like the world is against you. You're like, you know what? No one's going to stop me from having a better life for my family. Yeah, I'm in it to win it. I will until. But really important to have those reminders around you. So if you're going for a rank, if you're going for a bonus, if you're going for a new car, if you're going for that dream home, if you want to be a stay-at-home parent, maybe you got pictures of your family all around your house, in your car, and you're a planner, at work. Maybe you want that new car. You've got it plastered, on your mirror. Where you get ready in the morning, you get ready at night for bed. You got it on the refrigerator. I've had goals on the back of business cards in front of my speedometer, because I like every time I check the speed, my subconscious, your subconscious, it's always recording, and I'm seeing my goals over and over and over again. Having them as a screensaver on your phone, because we look at our phone an average of 400 times a day. So when you're programming that subconscious, we move in the direction of things that we're familiar with. And your brain doesn't know the difference of reality and what you tell it. So when you continue to see your goals and experience them, and that's the next part, is touch your dreams. Touch your dreams. What do I mean by that? If you want, again, I'm going to use an object because it's easy to use that for training purposes, but you can do this with any area of your life. If you want that new car, right? Have you test drove the car? Did you take a picture of you in the car? Did you take a picture of you by the car? Do you have it plastered everywhere? Do you have it on your computer screen, on your phone? Do you look at videos that explain what that car, all the features of the car? Do you visualize, okay, which is another. So when you touch your dreams, if you want a dream home in Hawaii, set up a trip, go on vacation, go to Hawaii. Okay, where would you want to live in Hawaii? Go to that island. Like, do the things that you would do if you live there. So when you continue to touch your dreams over and over and over again, and your mind doesn't know the difference of reality and what you tell it, so then you add the visualization piece, right? The visualization piece, that's another bonus tip. I don't know about you, these things change my world. I hope you're as excited as I am. You can tell I'm excited because, these things work. So now the science proves that when you think a thought, your brain encodes it as an actual memory. It doesn't have to be real. It encodes it as if it is real. And your body produces the same chemicals and endorphins as if the experience already happened. So that's how people, if they're addicted to drama, right? Every time there's drama, we produce these natural drugs. They get addicted to drama. So if there is no drama, they create the drama. So we magnetize the condition that we seek. What we think about, we truly do bring about. Thoughts are things. What you think about and you speak about, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So when you start to visualize over and over and over again, it's like you bought that car. You know what? It's like, hey, look, this is pretty normal for me because I've already driven this car thousands of times. I've already visualized how I would feel when I pulled it off the parking lot of the dealership. It's already happened, right? I'm just living it out. It's already happened thousands of times here. So spend some time every day, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, visualizing you achieving that rank, you achieving that goal, what it's going to feel like to pay off your credit card debt, what it's going to feel like to be a stay-at-home parent, what it's going to feel like to give money to a charity and help people and impact the world, and spend some time not only visualizing it happen, but how are you going to feel when it does happen? And by the way, do you know of anyone that maybe needs to hear this information? Do you think this could impact any of your friends, your family, your teammates? I would definitely tag them in this video, right? I would share this with them in this video. If you like this type of information, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, right? Follow me on TikTok because I'm going to be delivering content every single week. Not only that, I'm going to start an interview series. I'm going to be bringing people that are 7-figure-a-year earners, entrepreneurs, doctors, authors, you name it. We're going to have them. I'm going to be interviewing them on a consistent basis throughout this year to bring you as much value as I possibly can so we all can grow together and make 2021 the year that we go, you know what? That was the year that my entire life changed, not just in business, but every aspect of my life. So that sounds good to you. Tag them in the video, share the video, subscribe to the channels so you don't miss anything. Okay, so those reminders, visualize, touch your dreams. And one more thing that I did, well, 2 more things. Okay, let me know. I'm going to give you, if you want to hang out for 3 to 5 more minutes, I'll give you 2 more bonuses. But let me see in the comments, do you want those bonus tips? And these are, it's what I did. So it's not something I've read about and just thought about. I actually did it and it made a huge difference and an impact in me. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, y'all still with me? All right. So Kalita says yes. All right, Donna says yes. So let's go ahead so we can finish up. I had to figure out other things too to motivate me throughout the day. Some days are better than others. We know that. Like some days we just feel, hey, look, we're pretty motivated, but the majority of the days we never feel like doing what we need to do to achieve those goals and those dreams. So maybe here's some things that I did. I like to have a great environment. So I like to have, if you notice behind me, right, I've got a jar. Let me show you. I've got this bottle. My wife and I love Hawaii, right? So we had this bottle of water. We were at Turtle Bay in Oahu, absolutely gorgeous facility. And so this was a water bottle. So before we left, I'm like, you know what? I want to take some of my dreams with me because my wife and I, we love Hawaii. So I went out to the beach and I filled this up with sand and I left this in my office to remind me. There's pictures of my wife and I in Hawaii on the other side. I've got all kinds of things around my office to motivate and inspire me to keep moving. Okay. I will go through and look at different things on YouTube. Anytime you feel burned out or unmotivated, you've lost clarity. Clarity gives you focus and focus gives you energy. So what you want to do is you want to go back, take some time, go to YouTube, look at videos on Disney, look at videos of your dream car, whatever it may be. Look at videos of Hawaii, if that's where you want to have a house, a dream home, whatever it may be. So not only did I look at YouTube videos on my dreams and my goals, not only do I put things around my environment, I subscribe to a magazine that has all the things Hawaii, right? I've got a Hawaiian playlist. So some days, you know what? I'll put on the Hawaiian playlist, listen to Hawaiian music all day long, Hawaiian music, and it's pretty amazing. It puts me in a different state. I've also got motivating playlists. Like one of the new songs that I love is by Skillet, and it's called Legendary, right? So a lot of mornings, that's the first song when I start working, I put on. So you can have a playlist of songs that motivate you throughout the day. You can have things in your office or around you that motivate you throughout the day. I have documentaries. Like this is motivating for me. Some of the people that I've listened to their story 1,000 times over the last 12 months to motivate and inspire me. The Rock. Okay, there's a reason that his company is called Seven Bucks Production because he got kicked off a football team. He didn't even have money to get back to Florida. He flew from Canada to Florida. His dad had to pick him up. And it tells his story how he sat in the house and had a pity party for himself and watched soap operas or reality, whatever shows he was watching during the day. So I watched The Rock's documentary. Okay, Steve Harvey. Okay, how many of you have ever heard of Steve Harvey's story? He was homeless, living in his car. Like if you go listen to his story and what he went through and how many times he felt like giving up and now he's homeless and he would go into a Ritz-Carlton because they had the doors from the bottom to the top in the bathroom, and he would take those towels and he would wet the towels and he would bathe in a bathroom stall. And then one day he was completely naked and he was sud it all up and he was going to get some more clean towels to dry off, and this convention let out and he's sitting on the toilet just bawling and crying, going, God, I can't do this. So if you listen to his whole story, it is so inspiring and motivating, right? If you listen to Walt Disney, there's movies and documentaries and things on YouTube about Walt Disney. Right? We know Disney World, but what we didn't know, I didn't know, that the initial character, and I'm trying to think of it. If you know it, let me know in the comments. Oh man, I forget what it was. It will come to me, right? I'll remember it in a second. But Walt Disney had his staff stolen from him. The character that he'd worked so long on stolen from him. And on the train ride back, because of that happening, he created Mickey Mouse. There would be no Mickey Mouse if he hadn't gone through those challenges. Okay, maybe it's Sylvester Stallone. Like I watched so many things on YouTube about Sylvester Stallone and documentaries where he was so broke that he had to go outside of a liquor store and sold his best friend, which was his dog, because he couldn't afford to feed him. And he knew that if his dog was going to eat, he had to give him to someone else and sell him to someone else. But then when he took and he went and he watched this boxing match, and this guy kept getting knocked down, but he refused to stay down, right? Does that sound familiar? Do you know anyone like that in life? Okay, is that you? No matter how many times you get knocked down, you get up one more time. It's not how many times you knock down, is get knocked down as long as you get back up one more time. But when Rocky went back to his room and he wrote Rocky, and how many people rejected him? They're like, no. Then people go, hey, we'll buy it from you. But he's like, no, I have to be in it. They're like, you're not going to be in it. You have a deformed face. When he was born, when they pulled him out, it messed up a nerve in his face, which is why he talks. His mouth is a little bit crooked. They're like, you're not going to be in this movie. So they went from, hey, we'll pay you a massive amount of money down to, I think it was the rabbit, Tina. It was something else. It was the rabbit, but it was called something. I'm trying to remember the name of it. And, but anyway, they're like, hey, we'll give you, I think it was $100 and some thousand, whatever it was, for Rocky. And so then what he does, he goes back to the liquor store, waits, finds the guy that has his dog. The guy refuses to sell it. Finally, I think he agreed to $10,000, something crazy, and he had to be in the movie. So the first Rocky movie has that guy and Rocky's real dog in the movie. So what I did was I had this list of different stories of people, documentaries that had overcome challenges, and then where they were and where they went. So between the playlist, different songs that put me in a different state, right? The environment, keeping things around me that reminded me of why I was doing what I was doing, right? And those are just a few things when it comes to, and I'm telling you, those things really helped me push through the toughest days. And last but not least, accountability. Accountability. Apathy is a natural human instinct common to us all to seek a comfort zone where nothing ever changes. Apathy is a natural human instinct common to us all to seek a comfort zone where nothing ever changes. You will never get to where you should be without accountability, right? I may not look like it. I like to work out, right? I'm looking at my TikTok people. Hey, all right. And I got phones and stuff everywhere. But I love to work out. I know how to work out, but why do I have a trainer? Because there's a lot of times I'm doing things and can't see that my form is off. It's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. It's hard to read the label when you're in the box. So they can see things that we can't see. Another thing is they're going to push me harder and further than I ever would myself. Like last night when I went to the gym, I didn't feel like working out. I was exhausted, but we went in there and the trainers, they pushed us to the point where I was nauseous when I left. I could barely get in my car. I would have never pushed myself that hard. So you want to find someone that you give permission to tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. So on those days when you feel like giving up and you've given them permission. So if, for example, if I'm working with Tina and I go, hey, Tina, you know what? Why are you building your business? Why are you setting these goals? What's most important to you in your life right now? And she shares those with me. And I go, well, Tina, it's not a matter of if you're going to get discouraged, you're going to get discouraged. It's just a matter of when. It's not a matter of if you're going to feel like giving up and quitting. It's just when. So when that happens, Tina, what do I have permission to say to you to keep you going? And then she's going to tell me what she wants me to tell her during those times. And one of the biggest reasons, one of the things that has helped me more than anything was having people in my life, because sometimes it's not okay to say it's okay. So for example, if Belinda and I are friends and I give Belinda an excuse, I used to say things like if Belinda was giving me an excuse, hey, Belinda, it's okay. It's okay. But you know what? Sometimes it's not okay to say it's okay. So I had friends in my life that said, no, Darin, that's an excuse. That's not, I thought your children were your reason. Now you're going to use them as an excuse. You want daycare raising your kids, or do you want to raise your kids, Darin? And they told me things that rubbed me the wrong way, that ticked me off. But a lot of times when those emotions are involved and you get agitated, it was meant for you. So find some accountability. And I just don't have it in the gym. I have accountability with friends of mine for spiritual things, for business. I try to seek out accountability in every aspect of my life. And so I know I went a little bit longer today on this training, but I'm telling you what, I'm not just coming on here to give you content and go, okay, check the box. I did a training. I did a live, I gave them a little bit of value. I came on here today to give you some things that if you implement can and absolutely will change your world in 2021. But learning is easy. Improving is the challenging part. You're not going to feel like doing these things when you go out and start building your business, when you start, trying to change your health. But what does feeling like it have to do with anything? You do it no matter what. So thanks for joining again, DarinKidd.com/3 keys that you're seeing on the screen. That's a free resource for you and your organization. You can share that with everyone. It's just a little gift from me to you. If you have some people that will get value from this goal setting training for 2021, make sure you tag them. Make sure you share this in groups that can make an impact. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my TikTok, my YouTube, my Facebook. Because if you think we've done some big things, you hadn't seen anything yet compared to what's coming. And I'm putting that out there because I want you to know this is what I'm doing, because I'm holding myself accountable, right? Like, it's time for all of us to go to the next level. So I appreciate you. Hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Let's crush 2021, and we'll see you on the next training. Take care.